Hello everyone, we are now on our midweek assessment of the stock picks that we did last Monday, right? So this June 1. So the stock is quite good, continuously to move up for the past 3 days since Friday. So in general, we are seeing, let me just pull out the PSEI, no. We are seeing a um overbought. When I pull out the RSI, we are seeing a overbought level at this area. So I will just pull out the RSI as well here. So yeah, before I continue with this one, our stock picks, no, before I prepare and continue everything, yeah, just please do, if you're new to this channel, please do like or subscribe in the Facebook, in the YouTube channel. Hit the like button so that people will get to know or share this to your friends, so for them to get updates of what are the stocks that they could buy, or until when should they hold their position. So please watch this video out. All right, so let's recap first our PSEI. So this is the PSEI, or the index. It's just broken past the um, 50-day moving average, or EMA. I'm using EMA. Then if I use a horizontal resistance line here at around 593.7, it finally broke out from that area, supported by a good volume. The MACD is okay, all right, and um the RSI is quite above the 70 mark. So we can see that it can be overbought tomorrow. We can see a correction, pullback, or it can still manage to go up higher. So let's see the previous prices of the PSEI. As you can see here, a minor oversold results to a pullback, and so as this one. Though this one is quite a peak. Right, let's proceed with our stock picks. I'll be also adding 5 stocks today, so this is quite plenty or long. For SM, so for SM, as we all know, PSEI, if I'm not mistaken, the exact numbers, SM holds the biggest amount of percentage in the PSEI, which is 15%. So with this one, this can drag the whole index up. All right. So with this one, it's oversold. That's why, as you can see here, if I zoom it in, we can see a quite pullback at this area, but not totally pullback. So it's just negative 11% at this area. We can also see a resistance line within those areas. If we zoom that out, we can see the next possible resistance line is around here. All right, so it's quite a long journey before it finally went up to its peak of around 1000 area right there. Okay, what are the indicators here? If you have attended my free seminar and my upcoming paid seminar, I will discuss some indicators. But for this one, you can see here, if you put a resistance line here, you can see that it's finally broken. All right, there are some signs at the MACD. Then the sudden peak or movement upward of the stock that leads to the stock to go up. Another blue chip company, or a top 5, we have the AC. So you can see here, we can form an area or a line, a support line here. It's faithfully following the trend. A resistance line around this area. As you can see, it hit these areas right here and also these areas right there. So maybe it can consider the 200-day EMA to be its support line around this area. It's not yet oversold, so we can see a continuous momentum of the stock, maybe up to these levels. Or if we will project the higher resistance levels of this one, we can also see this one. So it's quite, the gap is quite narrow or medyo maliit lang. It's like a ladder step going up, like this trend we saw here at these areas. Right. Next, we have BPI. BPI is quite oversold earlier. No? It made a rally on the past few minutes before it finally closed. Same game plan. We can put a horizontal resistance line there. Then last Friday, when it finally break out, it continues to push through at these areas. We can consider this as its resistance line because of these areas as well, or maybe here or here, as long as it's within this range. So maybe tomorrow we can see that the stock can go sideways at this area, like this one. Okay, then we can see if the stock can finally move up, maybe around these areas right here. So that's around 81 pesos. Right, let me just add, or maybe I'll just, I'll add the risk-reward ratio for this one. Take note, no, that's I'm allotting more time with the risk-reward ratio because this is really important. That you know when to sell, you know until when you'll hold on to your profits. Maybe here, no, you can the target price maybe at around 5% to 3, or the cut loss area will be around this area, or the 50-day or the 100-day EMA for the SM. And for the AC, here, no, we can see a support line here and a resistance line here. So it's quite manageable. 3:2 risk. Risk is 2, reward is 3. So that's less than 1. So it's still possible. For the BPI, for the risk-reward ratio of that one, I guess this will be quite big. Here at this area, it's around 13%. Then it's around 11. So it's like still 1:1. But if you will follow a rule of 3%, you can cut loss at these areas. Then maybe as a risk management, no, you can just buy it again soon when you see a breakout from the resistance or a pullback around 38% of the Fibonacci or the 50% of the Fibonacci. We have TEL next. For this one, TEL unfortunately moved on a sideways manner. Here we can see a horizontal diagonal support line. All right, so all of the 3 indicators of the moving average are going up, but the MACD is not it's not in favor of the trend. Looking at the RSI as well. So if we can see a pattern here, all right, so we can draw a support line right there. So it can move sideways. Then whichever side it breaks out, that will be the bullish or bearish or upward or down trend that will be dominated. For the risk-reward ratio of this one, maybe let's put the reward there and the risk around here. So that's around 3. 2:3 risk-reward ratio. Next, we have URC. I think also as URC, no, it only moves sideways. As I mentioned on the previous video, no, it has a strong resistance line around this area, even though the volume is quite high around on the past few days. So we can expect the price to move sideways around these areas, including these areas here below. So sideways manner, even though the moving average cannot still determine where can the price be headed. Risk reward ratio still the same. Risk, if you will cut loss here, it's too far. Maybe cut loss around 2 to 3% again. The risk, if it pushes through above this one, let's check. No? Maybe around these areas. There you go. So around the 200-day moving average, or around 8% of gain. Next, we have MER. MER is quite formulating a same scenario on how it gradually moved up. As you can see here, it moved up around 1 to 3 candles sideways in the long run. This one is 2 candles, then maybe it will go sideways around here in the 200-day moving average area. It's not yet oversold. As you can see here, MACD is doing good as well at this area. So that's the resistance line we can put. For the support, we can use this area. So it's quite big. It's around 5%. No? Again, you can still cut that down. Then for the reward, let's use the Fibonacci here. Hold on, the cursor's not moving. Yeah, here, this will be the ideal support line on that area. Let me just zoom that in. So that's around 4. So it's the risk is quite big unless you will cut it here in this area. So it will be risk 3, reward 4. Next, we also have MEG. MEG did a great run. A lot of green bullish candles, also supported by strong volumes, right? Like this one. The trend is like this one. Maybe then it can consolidate for a long run. Let's hope for the stock to move like this one. All right, but it's oversold in this area, so we can see that the stock can consolidate at around that area. We can also consider that as its resistance line at these levels. No? The possible support line, we can put it here. It's ranging within the 100-day moving average. Then I can also indicate here the resistance line around these areas. So that's around 13%. So it's quite big. But you know, Meralco or some blue chip companies doesn't really move that much, unlike the other stocks or that are not in the top 30 companies. For Bloom, no, as I've mentioned before, we can draw a pattern here. Right here, maybe then a horizontal resistance line that was finally broken last Friday around this area. So what's the possible resistance line? This area. We can see around that level as well, or maybe we can pick this level right here because it has a gap. So the area here, or the 100-day EMA area right there. The risk of this one, cut loss, if we will follow the rule of like 3% cut loss, we'll cut loss around this area, then the next target will be around 8%. So that's quite huge reward compared to its risk. Now let me add these 5 stocks that we see that are bullish today that you can consider looking at. We have Ali, SM Prime, Dito, JGS, ICT, and AEV. For Ali, no, same again. No, if you can see the trend, it's like this. No, there's a downtrend support line that's being broken. No, excuse me. Then you can somehow ride it around maybe this area, take profit around this area. So that's 5%. Same with the scenario here. All right, you can draw a resistance line right there, maybe by at this area supported by volume and the RSIs quite moving up. So you probably gained like 12% already for that stock. So the general or the major resistance line is around that area. So today, finally, it was broken. The next possible resistance line will be around this area. So it's quite big move. And take note, it's not yet oversold. So it's possible that the stock can move up to that areas. So it's quite big. No? The risk reward is quite big. The risk is 5, the reward is 3 for Ali. Next, we have SM Prime. For the SM Prime, same as Ali almost. Again, another horizontal resistance line right there. Okay. Then, it's not yet overbought. The MACD just passed above its cross line or the zero area. The next, if we will plot this, let me check if I will plot that as its support line or sorry, resistance line. There you go. See, it's almost matching when you use the Fibonacci tool. So there you go. Then let's check the risk-reward ratio for that one. So if you will cut it into, so maybe we can manage it here around 3 and around here 3. So 1:1. It's quite tight, no? But you can do or you can somehow consider SM Prime on that one. Next, dito. This is one of the all-time favorite. It's again, the resistance line has been finally broken. Let's put a horizontal line there. The trend is really good. It's maintaining its balance or sideways movement above the 50 area for the RSI. Then the next possible resistance line will be around that area because of this one or maybe this area. So if we zoom that in, all right, we will get a risk of like 9%, it's quite big, and a reward of 9. So if we will trim the risk again quite higher, that's around 4 or 5%. The volume also is quite, it's nice around this area. So let's expect or let's see the price to move up. But again, it's quite contradicting, no? The volume is good, the MACD are high enough, but it's quite oversold. So that's something to decide on. Next, last two, we have JGS and AEV. Alright, for this one, the JGS, again, another trend here, or we can form a closer or a tighter trend, maybe somewhere around this area. There you go. Then when it finally break out from that resistance line on these two candles, it continuously moves up on this area. Resistance line around here. There you go. So sorry, let me just delete these other existing lines. So where's the possible resistance line, next resistance line of that one? Around these areas. There you go. So the risk reward for that one, if you will consider this as its new support, so it's quite big 4, and the reward for that one, it's 11 for JGS. So I think it can still pause around this area because of the 200-day moving average and this area right here. So the volume is quite good, no? For this kind of stocks, we cannot still determine if when it hit the 70 mark of the RSI, if we will sell already or we will still wait for like 1 to 2 candles before we finally sell or take profit. Because there's still a momentum, no? That's the decision making you have to make. Would you be settled or satisfied with your gain, given or noticing that it's overbought already? Or would you still consider to risk some of your position and watch it during the day, cut loss around 3% when it went down to its all-time or to its recent high? This one is quite a tight call. Maybe it can play around the 200-day EMA or the resistance line area there. The next resistance line is possibly or possible to be around that areas. Then the support line will be around these areas. The margins of this one is quite big. That's 11, around 10% gain and a possible 8% loss. So that's 4:5 risk reward ratio. If we are going to zoom that in, the volume again, this is quite familiar now with all of the stocks that we are picking today. The volume is good, but its RSI is bad or it's oversold. So it's the other way around. So this is also an opportunity for you to learn, to understand, and to study what are your possible strategies in these kinds of situations, momentums, uptrends, or there are current stocks that came from the bottom reversal, so that you can plan for the next trades that you will have. All right, so that's it. This is quite a long video, but please find time to study it, find time to analyze it. As you can see, some of our stocks last Monday went really in our direction, upward, sideways. It's for you to pick stocks or consider some of the stocks and put a stop position or a plan wherein you will take profit or cut loss at these areas. All right, again, don't forget to subscribe in this channel. Share this to your friends and relatives who are interested in the stock market. So that's it, everyone. And if you want, by the way, I have an upcoming seminar this June 12. If you want to learn more about the indicators, some fundamental analysis, please do come and enroll on my seminar. You will learn a lot from that seminar. Even the free ones, they are learning a lot. What more for the paid ones? So that's it. Again, please take extra care of yourself, and good luck on our trading tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, and God bless.
So, lumagpas yan, pwede ka na mag-isip-isip mo. Technical yan naman. Yes. Ibig sabihin, ito yung resistance niya, yung break niya. Hindi mo to alam kung wala kang technical sa chart. Unlike dito kapag bumili.
Tapos pag bumili ka dyan, tapos pag
dito?
nag-ano siya ng paakyat, hindi ka nang magpapakita.
Pwede. There's a trend, di ba? May line dito eh. Again, kanina yun yung resistance, di ba? Na alam nila hanggang dito lang yung price, kaya bibenta na sila.